Most people walk past small coins every day without thinking twice about them. They sit in drawers, old jars, forgotten wallets, and dusty boxes in the corners of homes. Many people assume these tiny pieces of metal have little or no value anymore. But sometimes a simple coin carries a story far greater than its size. Sometimes it holds a hidden value that surprises collectors and historians alike. One such coin that has caught the attention of collectors is the 1981 1-cent coin from South Africa. At first glance, the 1981 South Africa 1-cent coin might appear ordinary. It is small, lightweight, and simple in its design. Millions of coins like this were produced and used in daily transactions across the country. People used them to buy small items, pay exact change, or keep them in their pockets without much thought. Over time, many of these coins disappeared from circulation, lost, damaged, or simply discarded when their purchasing power became too small to matter. But while most people ignored them, coin collectors began paying attention. Coins are more than money. They are pieces of history that tell the story of a nation, its economy, and its culture during a specific moment in time. Every coin reflects the design choices, political atmosphere, and economic conditions of the country that produced it. The 1981 South African 1-cent coin is no different. It was minted during a time when the country's currency system relied heavily on small denominations for everyday trade. Even the smallest coin played an important role in daily life. The coin itself was made using copper-plated steel, a material that gave it a warm reddish tone when new. Over the years, many of these coins lost their shine as they passed through countless hands. Scratches, wear, and corrosion became common on coins that circulated for many years. Because of this heavy use, coins that remain in excellent condition today are far more difficult to find. The design of the coin is clean and recognizable. On one side, the denomination is clearly displayed, along with the year 1981. This simple design allowed people to easily recognize the coin during quick, everyday transactions. The other side traditionally features the national emblem used at the time, symbolizing the identity and authority of the country that issued the currency. For collectors, these design elements represent a snapshot of South Africa's historical period during the early 1980s. When these coins were first released, nobody imagined they might one day become collectibles. They were simply part of everyday life. Shopkeepers handled them constantly, children received them as change for small purchases, and families stored them in jars along with other coins. Because they were produced in large numbers, people believed they would always remain common. However, time has a way of changing the story of ordinary objects. As years passed and currency systems evolved, smaller coins gradually disappeared from everyday use. Inflation reduced the value of low denominations, and many countries began removing them from circulation. South Africa eventually followed this trend, and the 1-cent coin slowly became part of the past. As coins vanished from circulation, collectors begin to search for surviving examples. This is when rarity starts to develop. Even if millions were originally produced, only a fraction remain in good condition decades later. Coins that were heavily circulated often show strong wear, making them less attractive to collectors. But coins that were saved early, stored carefully, or never used at all can remain in nearly perfect condition. Condition is one of the most important factors in coin collecting. Collectors carefully study every detail of a coin's surface. They look for sharp design elements, smooth edges, and the original luster that appears when a coin has not been heavily handled. Professional grading services evaluate these characteristics and assign a grade that helps determine the coin's value in the market. A coin in poor condition may only be worth its basic collectible value, sometimes just a small amount above face value. But when a coin survives in exceptional condition, its value can increase dramatically. This is especially true for coins that were widely circulated, because high-grade examples are extremely difficult to find decades later. The 1981 South Africa 1-cent coin has become interesting to collectors for this exact reason. Most surviving examples show wear from years of use. Finding one that still has strong details, clean surfaces, and minimal damage can be surprisingly difficult. When collectors discover such a coin, it often attracts serious attention. Another factor driving interest in coins like this is the growing international market for world coins. In the past, many collectors focused mainly on coins from their own countries. Today, the internet and global marketplaces have connected collectors from every part of the world. Someone in one country can easily buy coins from another continent, expanding the reach of the hobby. Because of this global interest, coins from countries with rich histories have gained new attention. South African coins are part of this trend. They reflect a unique combination of African heritage, colonial influence, and modern national identity. Collectors appreciate these coins not only for their value, but also for the historical stories they represent. The early 1980s were a complex period in South African history. Economic conditions, political changes, and social dynamics all shaped the environment in which coins like the 1-cent piece were used. While the coin itself is small, it represents the everyday transactions of millions of people living during that time. Imagine the journey a single coin might have taken. It could have started at the mint, freshly struck and shining brightly. From there, it might have been delivered to a bank, then passed to a shopkeeper, then to a customer buying groceries. That customer might have used it to pay for a bus ride or given it to a child as pocket change. Over the years, it could have traveled through countless hands before eventually being forgotten in a drawer or coin jar. Some coins were lucky enough to escape this long journey. A few may have been stored in coin collections shortly after they were released. Others might have been saved in mint sets or carefully preserved by collectors who recognized their potential value. These preserved examples are the coins that often become the most valuable decades later. Professional coin grading plays a major role in determining which coins stand out from the rest. When a coin is submitted to a grading service, experts carefully examine it under magnification. They evaluate factors such as surface marks, strike quality, and original luster. The coin is then assigned a grade on a standardized scale that ranges from heavily worn to perfect mint condition. Coins that receive the highest grades are extremely rare, especially for pieces that were originally intended for everyday circulation. Because so many coins were used daily, very few survived in pristine condition. When collectors discover a high-grade example of a common coin, it can become surprisingly valuable. Auctions are where these rare, high-quality coins often appear. Collectors from around the world watch auction listings carefully, searching for coins that fill gaps in their collections. When a particularly well-preserved coin appears, multiple collectors may compete to win it. This competition can drive prices much higher than expected. The story of the 1981 South Africa 1-cent coin fits perfectly into this pattern. While most examples remain inexpensive collector pieces, the rarest high-grade specimens can attract serious attention. Collectors who specialize in South African coins or world coin sets are especially interested in finding the best possible examples. Another reason collectors pursue coins like this is the satisfaction of completing a full set. Many collectors try to gather every year of a particular coin series. When a certain year becomes difficult to find in top condition, it becomes the key piece needed to complete the collection. This demand can raise the value significantly. The coin collecting community also thrives on the excitement of discovery. People search through old coin jars, inherited collections, flea markets, and antique shops hoping to find a hidden treasure. Sometimes these searches lead to surprising discoveries. A coin that was forgotten for decades might suddenly become valuable when examined closely. For many collectors, the thrill of finding a rare coin is just as important as the value itself. Each coin carries a connection to the past, reminding people that history is often preserved in the smallest objects. A tiny coin can reveal details about trade, art, politics, and technology from the time it was created. The materials used in coins also tell an interesting story. The copper-plated steel used in the 1981 1-cent coin reflects economic choices made by the mint at the time. Metal prices, durability, and production efficiency all influence the materials chosen for coins. These decisions shape how coins age and survive over the decades as time continues to pass. Surviving examples of older coins become even more interesting to collectors. Each year that goes by reduces the number of coins that remain in excellent condition. Damage, corrosion, and loss slowly reduce the available supply. This gradual change increases the appeal of well-preserved pieces. Collectors often share their discoveries through online communities, coin shows, and auctions. These connections allow people to learn more about the history and value of different coins. Knowledge spreads quickly in the modern collecting world, helping enthusiasts identify coins that might have been overlooked in the past. The 1981 South Africa 1-cent coin serves as a reminder that value can appear in unexpected places. Something that once represented the smallest unit of currency can become an object of fascination decades later. Its journey from everyday pocket change to collectible item shows how history transforms ordinary objects. Even today, people occasionally discover old coins in their homes without realizing their potential significance. A small coin resting in a forgotten jar might hold a story waiting to be rediscovered. For collectors, that possibility keeps the search exciting. The next time you come across an old coin, it may be worth taking a closer look. Examine the year, the design, and the condition. Research its history and compare it with examples found by collectors around the world. You might discover that what seems ordinary at first glance actually holds a surprising place in the world of numismatics. The 1981 South Africa 1-cent coin is a perfect example of how a simple piece of metal can travel through time and gain new meaning. It once served a small purpose in everyday commerce, but today it attracts attention from collectors who appreciate its history and rarity in high condition. And in the world of coin collecting, one exceptional example of this small but fascinating coin has reached an estimated value of around $7,000.